What's up, pups? How you guys doing? I'm doing great, thanks for asking. Everything about me today is not so good. It's January 1st, 2016. Luna is playing with her squeak toy, and I've been doing a lot of cleaning of the house today, so less focused on makeup and hair and more focused on getting the house in order. Making your toy do that noise. So I wanted to start the year off fresh with our review video. I'm not sure if you guys have followed. I've done, I think, 2 videos now. This will be my 3rd year doing this video. I started a memory jar now 3 years ago where I basically make a log of all of my memories, things that happened throughout the year that are important to me, and then at the end of the year, January 1st of the following year, I go through the container and see all of the things that happened that are awesome. So here is the one thing I will say about this. There was a period of time that I forgot to put things in this jar. So what I've done is I've also compiled a list of things that should have gone in the jar, but I'm pretty sure did not. Let's dive into the memory jar and see what type of memories I put in here from 2015. That shouldn't be in there. That's a USB for my Fitbit. That is a USB for my mouse. Alright, so let's pull these suckers out. So, first memory, David Ayers bought 2 of my marquee lights. I definitely remember this. I think I actually wrote this down. Yeah, I did. David Ayers bought my art. Like, I wrote it on my separate list. So when I did Shock Pop Comic Con, I believe it was January or February of 2015, David Ayers was a featured guest. If you're not sure of who he is, he's been on Once Upon a Time, he's been on iZombie. He was a featured guest at the con. The con was very small and it worked out pretty awesome because he was able to walk around and kind of like go to people's tables without, you know, anyone saying anything to him really. So he happened to come to my table while I was like situating things, and my friend Rolly was at the table standing behind the booth and I was standing outside of the booth. So I'm fixing stuff on my table and Rolly goes, "Kayleigh, Kayleigh, Kayleigh," and I'm like, "What? Like what?" And I'm looking at Rolly, he's like, because I didn't realize that David Ayers was standing next to me looking at my stuff. And so I kept saying, "Rolly, what? Like, I don't, what are you doing? What does that look?" What? So David Ayers walks away. Rolly goes, "Kayleigh, David Ayers was standing right next to you." So I look over, he's already turning the corner, and I was like, oh my god, he was at my booth. Like, so I start freaking out. I ended up tweeting at him and I said, "Hey, David Ayers, thanks for stopping by my booth. Sorry I didn't notice it was you. Would have loved to say hello." Not even 30 minutes later, he comes back to my booth and he goes, "Hey, I got your tweet." And I was like, "What? What?" Like, so I freaked out. He ended up saying that he really loved my stuff and he wanted to buy 2 of my light up marquee letters. Either way, super cool that David Ayers owns 2 things that I have made, and he actually came back at the last day of the convention, he came back to my booth because he said he wanted to say goodbye, and we took pictures and gave each other hugs, and it was so much fun. And that was just like one of the coolest memories for me, to start the year off by meeting David Ayers and selling him my stuff, and then he was just so awesome and nice. So yeah, that was pretty cool. Valentine's weekend, so that's when it was, Valentine's weekend. I vended at Shock Pop. I met Elvira and sold some marquee lights to David Ayers. I just fixed the lighting, by the way, but I must have been super excited that I met David Ayers because I wrote it twice. But I also did meet Elvira, and I got a photo with her, and I had her sign an autograph for my grandpa because my grandpa really likes Elvira. So this one says Ian, and then in parentheses, is taking forever at, in parentheses, building me a Bardus. He's building me a TARDIS bar. So you guys have seen this on my daily channel. I've filmed it. Ian's been building me a Bardus since last Christmas. No, it is not finished. What are you doing? Do you see her head? She's under the coffee table. Like, what are you doing? So Ian still has not finished my Bardus. This is now 1 complete cycle of a year and it's still not done. So hopefully it'll be done this year in 2016. March 13th to the 17th, I went to Chicago and Wisconsin for Travis and Megan's wedding. That was my first time ever going to Wisconsin, and it was my second time ever going to Chicago, so that was really fun. And unfortunately, the weekend that I went was their warm front weekend, so most of the snow was melting. I got to see a little bit of snow, but like not enough to make me happy, and I didn't get to see snowfall. I did get to see a frozen lake, and I walked on top of it, and it was really scary and terrifying, but also really cool. And of course, the day after we leave, there was a snowstorm, so my luck, I will never see snowfall. February 7th to the 9th, Playlist Live 2015. The smaller channels panel went incredibly. Yay! That's awesome. So this past year we actually had an entire track and it went so well. It was the entire weekend. It was awesome. I'm looking so forward to Playlist this year. I think, what is it? It's in April? This year it's in April. What are you doing? Stop it. Fun fact too, we got to go do Playlist in Washington DC as well, which was really cool. It wasn't an entire track, but we did a single panel, and I flew to Washington DC by myself, and it was really cool and an experience, and I met some amazing people. So May 15th to the 22nd, my trip to California. Ian and I went to Morro Bay, California for an entire week. It was so much fun. Every time I go to California, like, my heart just like soars out of my body because it's where I was born and raised, and it's just, I have so much love for my home state, and I want to move back, and one day I will. And I'm actually hoping to travel to California again this year. Hopefully for VidCon, we'll see. That's my goal though. In January at Magic City Comic Con, I met Karen Gillan and Dan Starkey. So a year ago, almost to the day I think, because I think it was early, I met Karen Gillan and Dan Starkey, and actually I'm going back to Magic City Comic Con this year, except as a vendor. So I will be selling my stuff at the con instead of just attending. Okay, so that's all of the green slips that I had. Like I said, I forgot a ton of things to write down. I do have a very small list of things that, you know, were important and stuck out to me, because I'm not sure if a lot of you guys know, but 2015 was also a very terrible year for me. It was probably one of the worst years of my life. There was good things that happened and bad things that happened, but the bad things astronomically overshadow the good things. And I don't really want to dwell on those. I just want to move forward, and hopefully 2016 will be amazing. But I did try to make a list of things that did happen in 2015 to remind me that the year wasn't completely the worst, even though it was pretty bad. So I went to Washington DC alone. This was the first time that I've ever traveled somewhere by myself. And I don't mean like traveling on a plane, because I've done that before. It was my first time going someplace alone. Like, I had friends that I met there, but it was mostly just me. Like, I took an Uber from the airport to the hotel. I took an Uber going from the hotel to the airport. Like, I did everything by myself. It was the first time, and that was incredible to me. Like, that it was just like, I've never done anything like that, and I was terrified, but it was exciting, and that's a huge memory for me. Another thing I did in 2015 was I went on a business trip for my job. My job sent me to our corporate headquarters in Rhode Island. It was an entire week. Again, this was kind of like a traveling by myself thing, but not as much, because I had a ride like to and from the airport, and I had rides to work every day. So, but it was definitely an experience, because I've never gone on a business trip. I've never had a job that would send me on a business trip. That was so cool. It was just really awesome to see how the company that I work for operates in their corporate headquarters. So that's definitely a memory that I am glad that I have, and an experience that I'm glad I had. Also, my job sent me to Orlando for a couple days for InfoComm in 2015, which was really cool. I got to help out at our booth and showcase all of our electronics, and it was really fun and exciting. And that was more so local, so I obviously drove up and drove back, but it was still really cool, and I got to stay overnight in a really awesome hotel. So super cool. Also, like I mentioned, I went to Wisconsin for the first time. So in 2015, I'm sure I met more than this and I just couldn't remember, but I met Karen Gillan, Dan Starkey, Sylvester McCoy, David Anders, Elvira, James Marsters, Ernie Hudson, and like I said, more. I just can't remember everyone that I met. And also, and I would say probably this is the most important thing that happened in 2015, I paid off my car. You guys, I got my Camaro in Luna, I'm trying to tell a story. I got my Camaro in December of 2011. Is that correct? Yeah, 2011. My car payment has been astronomically insane ever since I've paid an obscene amount of money for my car. So December of this year was my last car payment ever. I finally own my Camaro, 110%. It is my car. And that feels so awesome that I don't have a car payment anymore, and it's gonna help so much with like being able to pay bills and rent and not feel as stressed out. So That's probably one of the best things that's happened this year. So if you guys did a memory jar as well and you filmed a video of you opening it and going through your memories, please link it to me down below. I'd love to watch them. I will try to be extremely consistent for 2016. I have a lot of goals that I'm setting for myself, and this is definitely one of them. I want to try to remember the good moments because 2015 was a huge example of being a terrible year that had some good things mixed into it, so I want to try— Luna, what are you doing? I want to try to remember every good thing that happens this year in 2016, so I definitely will be trying a lot harder this year. Anyway, you guys, if this is the first video that you're seeing of mine, hi, I'm Kayleigh. You should subscribe by hitting that red button right down below, and we can become best friends forever. Links to my Twitter, Tumblr, Facebook, and Instagram are also down below. I'll see you guys in a few days with another video. Peace out, trouts. By the way, Happy New Year!